Hello viewers, I am Tarang Kumar Bundwal, Assistant Professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. The following video is prepared as per the syllabus and course outline of Maharshi Dayanand University. However, are mostly general topics which cover the working and theoretical aspects of civil engineering. For better understanding and conceptualizing clearly, please do not skip the video and watch till end. We will be discussing about related important questions, feasibility and applications. Let's start the video. Hello students, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the strength of ceramics. Ceramics, types of ceramics, refractories, glasses, their properties, their crystalline structures. You have read about that in lecture number 2. So in today's lecture, we will start with strength and mechanical properties of ceramics. So as you can see, it is stress strain behavior of selected materials. Monolithic ceramic के लिए आप देख सकते हैं, which is primarily of Al2O3. ये सिर्फ इतने एरिया तक ही हुक्स लॉ फॉलो करता है. स्ट्रेस स्ट्रेन रिलेशनशिप आपको लीनियर दिखता है. उसके बाद फ्रैक्चर. यहाँ पे ये स्टील के लिए, जैसा कि आप लोग जानते हैं, स्टील का बिहेवियर, ये प्लास्टिक जोन है, ये सारा इलास्टिक जोन है. और ये कास्ट आयरन के लिए, जो कि ब्रिटल होता है, वो एकदम टूट जाता है. प्रोपाइलिन के लिए. Now, another important mechanical property is flexural strength. The stress at fracture using this flexural test is known as. जो हमारा जो टेस्ट स्पेसिमेन है, उसको दो सपोर्ट्स पे रेस्ट कराया जाता है और ऊपर से एक फोर्स. यहाँ पे इसको सिंगल पॉइंट टेस्ट बोलते हैं. और जैसा कि आप लोग एमटी सब्जेक्ट में आप जानते भी हैं कि 2 पॉइंट टेस्ट और 3 पॉइंट टेस्ट, ये सब टेक्नोलॉजीज भी यूज की जाती हैं. So this type of test is flexural test. Possible cross sections. It could be a rectangular beam or a circular beam too. And it is given by stress is equals to mc upon I, where m is maximum bending moment, c is distance from center of specimen to outer fibers. तो c की वैल्यू ये आप देख पाते हैं, ये टोटल l है. I is moment of inertia of cross section and F is applied load. For rectangular and circular sections, you can see the value of M, C, L and stress is given as this. Flexure test. Test in which a rod specimen having either a circular or rectangular cross section is bent until fracture point, a 3 or 4 point loading technique. जैसा कि अभी डिस्कस किया, 3 और 4 पॉइंट पे भी लोडिंग होती है और तब तक बेंड किया जाता है जब तक फ्रैक्चर नहीं आता. Now, you can see the blue box. Stress is computed from the specimen thickness. Specimen thickness पे greatly depend करता है stress. Bending moment, the moment of inertia of cross section. For rectangular cross section, the flexural strength sigma fs is equal to this value. Sigma fs is equals to 3 ff on 2 bd square, and L is the distance between support points. And there is a cross section which is in circular shape. Then stress in this case is ff upon L upon ff into L upon pi into r cube, and r is the radius here. So you can see mechanical properties of ceramics is also calculated in terms of modulus of rupture. This is one of those important important properties which determine the use of ceramics. So if the material is silicon nitride and represented by this formula Si3N4, so its flexural strength you can see is 250 to 1000 megapascal, and if it is converted then you can see the unit, and modulus of elasticity is 304 gigapascal. इसी तरीके से यहाँ पे फ्यूज्ड सिलिका एक एग्जांपल और रैंडम ले लेते हैं, 110 मेगापास्कल फ्लेक्चरल स्ट्रेंथ और 73 गीगापास्कल मॉड्यूलस ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी. Next important property is hardness. Hardness implies a high resistance to deformation and is associated with a large modulus of elasticity. जितना ज़्यादा modulus of elasticity होगा, hardness उतनी ही ज़्यादा vary करेगी. In materials, ceramics and most polymers, the deformation considered is plastic deformation of the surface. For elastomers and some polymers, hardness is defined as the resistance to elastic deformation of the surface. Technical ceramic components are therefore characterized by their stiffness and dimensional stability. तो hardness एक resistance है कि वो hardness एक जो property वो resistance बताती है कि वो एक external abrasion को या external किसी भी deforming force को कितना resist कर पाता है. एक material ये उसकी resistance ही उसकी hardness का measure है. Hardness is affected from the porosity in the surface, the grain size of the microstructure and the effects of grain boundary phases. तो अगर सरफेस ज्यादा पोरस होगा तो हार्डनेस कम होगी, ग्रेन साइज जितना ज्यादा माइक्रो स्ट्रक्चर होगा उतना क्लोजली पैक्ड होगा. So there are some test procedures. They specify the hardness values of typical ceramic materials. So as per Vickers hardness scale, which is in gigapascal, abbreviated as HV. So glasses have 5 to 10 hardness gigapascal. Silicon carbides or boron carbides, they have hardness of 20 to 30, and diamond, it has a hardness of 60 to 70, and in fact more than that. Next is elastic modulus. The elastic modulus E gigapascal of almost all oxide non-oxide ceramics is consistently higher than that of steel. तो जैसा कि आप देख पा रहे हैं, ऑक्साइड और नॉन ऑक्साइड दोनों सेरेमिक्स का मॉड्यूलस ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी स्टील से ज्यादा हाई होता ही है. This results in an elastic deformation of only about 50 to 70% of what is found in steel components. तो इसीलिए इसमें खाली 50 से 70% के लगभग ही डिफॉर्मेशन हो पाता है स्टील के कंपैरिजन में. The high stiffness implies, however, that forces experienced by bonded ceramic materials constructions must primarily take up by the ceramic material. तो ये आप हार्डनेस वैल्यूज देख रहे हैं. सिलिकॉन नाइट्राइड मेटल्स की वैल्यू यहाँ पे होती है और इनकी वैल्यू यहाँ पे in the order of 25, while materials are of the order of 2.5 or 3. Next is density. The density rho is expressed as gram per centimeter cube. It is the density of technical ceramics lies between 20 and 70% of the density of steel. तो डेंसिटी काफी कम होती है. The relative density has a significant effect on the properties of ceramics. So this is a comparison of typical mechanical characteristics of some ceramics with gray cast iron and construction steel. So you can see these are the properties, and this is the material, type of material. Or you can see for porcelain, density is 2.3. For steatite, density is 2.7. Aluminum oxide, it is 3.94. Zirconium, this zirconium oxide, it is 6. Silicon nitride, it is 3.3. Cylon, it is 3. Silicon carbide, it is 3.15. Mild steel, it is 7.85. And cast iron, it is 7.3. So you can see their density is very less, but hardness value is much greater than that of metals. And you can compare the density in all cases. While their other strength parameters are very high. Next is porosity. Technical ceramic materials have no open porosity. तो टेक्निकली उनको इस तरीके से डिजाइन किया जाता है सेरेमिक्स को कि उनमें कोई ओपन पोरोसिटी ना हो. But porosity can be generated through the appropriate selection of raw materials, the manufacturing process, and in some cases through the use of additives. पर पोरोसिटी इंड्यूस भी की जा सकती है कुछ टेक्नोलॉजी में चेंजेस लाके, और या फिर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के टाइम पे कुछ मटेरियल्स ऐसे सेलेक्ट करके जिनकी प्रॉपर्टीज पोरोसिटी बेयर करती हूँ, या फिर किसी एडिटिव्स का यूज करके मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के दौरान. This allows closed and open pores to be created with sizes from a few mm up to a few micrometer. So you can see this is the elastic modulus versus porosity volume percentage graph. With high elastic modulus, porosity is also high, but as elastic modulus decreases, porosity volume also decreases. Now strength. The figure for the strength of ceramic material, megapascal, is statically distributed depending on the material composition. Strength किस तरीके से distribute होती है एक ceramic material में, वो कुछ इस तरीके का distribution है. The material composition, the grain size of the initial material and the additives, the production conditions, the manufacturing processes. Mechanical properties of ceramics also contains toughness in it. It is to be noticed. It is ability of material to resist fracture. Hardness के केस में it was ability to resist abrasion था. यहाँ पे it is ability of material to resist fracture है. It is affected from temperature, strain rate, the relationship between the strength and ductility of the material, and presence of stress concentration notch on the specimen surface. So as you are well acquainted now, if it is a stress versus strain graph, then this is a brittle fracture and this is a ductile fracture. So this is typical values of fracture toughness of various materials. This is a fracture point, the last value at which they stop taking strength and break down into two pieces. This is again stress strain diagram of aluminum oxide versus soda lime glass. So you can see aluminum oxide can take more stresses when compared to strain, but soda lime glass can take strain more when compared to stress. Properties of various ceramics also contains all these materials are also a part of ceramics. You can pause in the video and check these properties of comparison between modulus of rupture and modulus of elasticity. This is hardness values as per Knoop hardness index. Now this is the effect of porosity on stiffness. With modulus of elasticity decreasing, volume fraction porosity also decreases. Same is case with modulus of rupture and volume fraction porosity. This is fracture toughness value. Metals have the highest fracture toughness, then composites, then plastics, then ceramics. Fracture toughness values are not so high in ceramics. They break easily and they are brittle. Now, compressive strength of ceramics. The frailties that limit the tensile strength of ceramic materials are not nearly so operative when compressive stresses are applied. Ceramics are substantially stronger in compression than in tension. So, ceramics भी compression stress और strength जो भी external forces है सब कुछ झेल पाते हैं पर tension को नहीं. For engineering and structural applications, designers have learned to use ceramic components so that they are located in compression rather than tension or bending. So how can we strengthen our ceramic material? Start making materials more uniform. Decrease grain size in polycrystalline ceramic products. Minimize porosity. Introduce compressive surface stresses. Use fiber reinforcement and heat transfer. So these are traditional ceramic processing. It was prepared, then it was shaped when it was wet, dried, then fining values. So this is how raw material used to get prepared. This is powder processing. Ceramic powder is converted into a useful shape at this step. आप देख पा रहे हैं इसको shape दी जा रही है. So processing techniques involved are tape casting, slip casting, injection molding. In the drying process, water must be removed from clay piece before firing. Shrinkage is a problem during drying because water contributes volume to the piece and the is removed. Firing is a heat treatment process that sinters the ceramic materials performed in a furnace called a kiln. Glazing, application of a ceramic surface coating to make the piece more impervious to water and enhance its appearance. So if you want to locate the slides taught in today's session, you can also go through these websites. If wanted, I will email you this. Now coming to the next topic, creep. When load is applied on a concrete specimen, it shows an instantaneous deformation followed by slow increase of deformations is called concrete creep. तो जब हम इनिशियली लोड अप्लाई करते हैं किसी कंक्रीट पे और जैसे ही उसके ऊपर किसी भी एक्सटर्नल इन्फ्लुएंस का जो भी कोई भी इफेक्ट है, कोई भी एक्सटर्नल इन्फ्लुएंस का जैसे कि विंड, वाटर, अर्थक्वेक, कुछ भी, वो सब कुछ विदस्टैंड करके विद टाइम जो एक डिफॉर्मेशन क्रिएट होती है वो कहलाती है क्रीप. सो क्रीप इज अ टाइम डिपेंडेंट परमानेंट plastic deformation under a certain applied load. तो एक permanent deformation है और time based deformation है. Generally creep occurs at high temperature but can also happen at room temperature depending on the material. Example, lead or glass, although this happens at a much slower rate. So these are creep cracks in concrete walkway. You can see because of creep, cracks have been developed on the pavement. So as a result, the material undergoes a time-dependent increase in length, which could become quite dangerous while in use. तो कई बार बहुत सारी जगहों पे ये टाइम डिपेंडेंट क्रीप जो है ये डेंजरस भी हो सकती है. द रेट ऑफ डिफॉर्मेशन इज कॉल्ड द क्रीप रेट. और जिस रेट से क्रीप हो रहा है या जो हमारा कंक्रीट है वो डिटेरियोरेट कर रहा है वही उसका क्रीप रेट कहलाता है. इट इज द स्लोप ऑफ द लाइन इन अ क्रीप स्ट्रेन वर्सेस टाइम कर्व which can be seen below. So this is strain versus time graph. This point is initial elastic strain. This point is known as primary creep. Here it is known as secondary creep, which is a steady state. This is the time period. You can see the longest time period which the concrete can sustain, and this is tertiary creep when deformation starts to increase more. So creep deformation has three stages. Primary creep starts rapidly and slows down with time. तो primary creep जो ये वाला है ये बहुत तेज शुरू होता है और धीरे और जल्दी ही रुक भी जाता है. Secondary creep progresses at a relatively uniform rate. और जो secondary creep है वो आप देख पा रहे हैं relatively थोड़ा धीरे रेट से बढ़ता है. Tertiary creep has an accelerated rate of deformation which terminates when the material fails, breaks or ruptures. और tertiary creep एकदम तेज बढ़ता है और जैसे बढ़ता है तभी मटेरियल फेल कर चुका होता है. It is associated with both necking and formation of grain boundary voids. और दोनों तरीके से टूट सकता है. नेकिंग भी हो सकती है या बाउंड्री वॉइड्स भी आ सकते हैं. ग्रेन बाउंड्री वॉइड्स बोला जाता है जिसको. There are several design strategies that can be adopted to avoid creeping in materials. तो बहुत सारे तरीके हैं creep को कम करने का. Reduce the effect of grain boundaries. Use single crystal materials with large grains. तो जो रप्चर टाइप है वो ग्रेन बाउंड्रीज टाइप का रप्चर नहीं होना चाहिए, इसीलिए सिंगल क्रिस्टल मटेरियल यूज करना और लार्ज ग्रेन्ड मटेरियल यूज करना ज्यादा इफेक्टिव है. एड सॉलिड सॉल्यूशंस टू फिल वॉइड्स इन द मटेरियल में जो भी वॉइड्स हैं उसको किसी सॉलिड सॉल्यूशन से भरा जाए. यूज मटेरियल्स विद हाई मेल्टिंग टेम्परेचर्स हाई मेल्टिंग पॉइंट ही होने चाहिए उनके. कंसल्ट क्रीप टेस्ट डेटा ड्यूरिंग मटेरियल सिलेक्शन. और जो भी मटेरियल सेलेक्ट कर रहे हैं उसका क्रीप टेस्ट डेटा जरूर हमें कंसिडर करना चाहिए. सो क्रीप अ बिट इन डिटेल. When a load is applied on a concrete specimen, the specimen first shows an instantaneous deformation, which is then followed by slow further increment in deformation. तो जो इनिशियली लोड अप्लाई किया जाता है स्पेसिमेन एक छोटा सा जो इंस्टेंटेनियस तभी कहते हैं डिफॉर्मेशन होता है वो शो करता है. और ये जो स्लो इंक्रीज ऑफ डिफॉर्मेशन है ये लेटर ऑन बढ़ जाता है जो सेकेंडरी स्टेज पे चला जाता है. ये 1907 में हैट ने डिस्कवर किया था. There is always strain associated with applied stresses to any material. अगर स्ट्रेस मटेरियल पे अप्लाई किया जाएगा तो स्ट्रेन तो कुछ ना कुछ उसके अंदर डेवलप होगा ही, स्ट्रेन तो आएगा ही. ASTME 603 defines creep as a time dependent increase in strain in a solid resulting from force. To define creep, one must consider two identical specimen subjects to exactly the same environmental histories, one specimen being loaded on the other load-free companion specimen. The difference of the deformation of these two specimens defines the instantaneous deformation plus creep. तो एक क्रीप को समझाने के लिए एक छोटा सा एक्सपेरिमेंट बताया गया है कि जिसमें दो स्पेसिमेन जो आइडेंटिकल हो उनको सेम एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशंस में एक्सपोज कर दो, लंबे टाइम के लिए छोड़ दो, पर एक के ऊपर लोड रख दो और एक को बिना लोड के छोड़ दो। तो जो उसमें जिस तरीके के चेंजेस होंगे अंडर लोडेड कंडीशन वो डेफिनेटली उससे अलग होंगे जो कि लोड फ्री था, तो उस पर क्रीप इफेक्ट ज्यादा होगा। So this is a failure of Big Dig ceiling, which is in Boston. It is a failure because of creep. So it is explained by two scientists that when a load is applied to concrete, it experiences an instantaneous elastic strain which develops into creep strain if the load is sustained. तो एक instantaneous elastic strain develop होता है जो कि creep strain में convert हो जाता है. The magnitude of this creep strain is 1 to 3 times the value of instantaneous elastic strain. It is proportional to cement paste content and thus inversely proportional to aggregate volumetric content. Creep thus can be defined as the increase in strain under a sustained stress, and since this increase can be several times as large as the strain on loading, creep is of considerable importance in structural mechanics. तो एक सस्टेन्ड स्ट्रेस के अंडर जब भी कोई इंक्रीज इन स्ट्रेन होगा वो क्रीप है, और ये जो स्ट्रेन है जो स्ट्रेस की वजह से हो रहा है ये इसकी वैल्यू बहुत ही ज्यादा लार्ज हो सकती है, इसीलिए ये स्ट्रक्चरल मैकेनिक्स में एक बहुत ही कंसिडरेबल एंटिटी है। क्रीप को इसलिए कंसिडर करना और पढ़ना जरूरी है। Under normal conditions of loading, the instantaneous strain recorded depends on the speed of application of load and thus includes not only the elastic strain but also some creep. It is difficult to differentiate accurately between the immediate elastic strain and the early creep. तो early creep और जो immediate elastic strain है दोनों में differentiate करना इतना ज़्यादा possible नहीं है क्योंकि वो दोनों एक साथ ही होते हैं जैसे कि अभी हमने देखा, but this is not of practical importance as it is the total strain induced by the application of load that matters. So as you can see, this is micro strain and this is time when loading was removed after, and this is number of days. I'm sorry, when loading was done. After loading, this much time that took. So you can see the material, it was from 0 to 7 days. It was initial elastic strain. At around 16 days, it was creep strain. And on the 85th day, concrete was unloaded. The load was removed from here and elastic recovery started. The strain value dropped down and then creep recovery started. And this much value is irreversible creep. This cannot be undone. If the stress is removed after some period of time, there is an instantaneous recovery of the elastic strain and then slower recovery of some of the creep, but not all. जैसे कि अभी देखा, जैसे ही हम लोड हटाएंगे तो इलास्टिक रिकवरी तो इंस्टेंटेनियसली हो जाएगी, पर जो क्रीप रिकवरी है वो थोड़ी धीरे होगी, पर वो भी उतनी नहीं हो पाएगी रिकवरी जितनी वो इनिशियली स्पेसिमेन की जितनी थी उतनी नहीं हो पाएगी. This is shown in figure where the particular concrete was loaded at the age of 28 days with the resulting instantaneous strain. The load was then maintained for 90 days, during time which creep is seen to have increased the load deformations to almost 3 times its instantaneous value. If the load were maintained, the deformation would have continued. अगर इस पे यही बताया जा रहा है अगर लोड इस पे छोड़ दिया होता तो भले ही रेट कम हो जाता पर डिफॉर्मेशन चलता रहता. When the load was removed, the elastic instantaneous strain is of course recovered and some creep recovery is seen to occur. If the concrete is reloaded at some later date, instantaneous and creep deformations develop again as shown. Creep in concrete is a post-elastic phenomena. तो पोस्ट इलास्टिक फिनोमेना है क्रीप, ये एक इंपॉर्टेंट लाइन है, आप लोग इसको मार्क कर लीजिए. In practice, drying shrinkage and viscoelastic behavior such as creep usually take place simultaneously. Drying shrinkage और viscoelastic behavior दोनों ही creep का ही पार्ट है, ये अक्सर एक साथ ही होते हैं किसी भी मटेरियल में. Considering the various combination of loading, restraining and humidity conditions, the following terms are defined. So these are the basic terms of creep. First is true or basic creep. It is defined as the creep that occurs under condition that there is no drying shrinkage or moisture movement between concrete and ambient environment. तो ट्रू बेसिक क्रीप में क्या होता है, ट्रू में या फिर बेसिक क्रीप में क्या होता है, ये उस कंडीशन में होगा, उसको ट्रू क्रीप बोला जाएगा जहां पे कोई ड्राइंग श्रिंकेज नहीं है, कोई मॉइस्चर मूवमेंट नहीं है कंक्रीट और आसपास के एनवायरनमेंट. नेक्स्ट इज स्पेसिफिक क्रीप. इट इज डिफाइंड एज क्रीप स्ट्रेन पर यूनिट ऑफ अप्लाइड स्ट्रेस, यानी कि स्पेसिफिक क्रीप जितना एक्चुअल स्ट्रेन दिया है, जितना स्ट्रेस दिया है उतना ही स्ट्रेन वो शो करे. तो दिस इज स्पेसिफिक क्रीप. नेक्स्ट इज ड्राइंग क्रीप. It is the additional creep that occurs when the specimen under load is also drying. तो ये एक additional creep है when the specimen under load is also drying. Fourth is creep coefficient. It is defined as the ratio of creep strain to elastic coefficient. So creep coefficient denoted by E. Creep and shrinkage of concrete are influenced by a large number of factors and which may be divided into intrinsic factors and extrinsic factors. तो कंक्रीट की जो क्रीप है वो बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स पे डिपेंड करती है, कोई एक चीज पे डिपेंड नहीं करती है. तो इसको दो तरीके से डिफाइन किया गया, दो पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर दिया, एक इंट्रिंसिक फैक्टर्स की वजह से और एक्सटेंसिव फैक्टर्स की वजह से. So the intrinsic factors are those material characteristics which are fixed once and for all the way concrete is cast. तो इंट्रिंसिक फैक्टर्स तो वो हो गए जो हमने मटेरियल चूज कर लिया और हमने उसकी प्रॉपर्टीज फिक्स कर दी कंक्रीट कास्टिंग के दौरान. Then extensive factors. These are those which can vary after the casting. They include temperature, pore water content, age of loading, etc. पर extrinsic factors में वो फैक्टर्स जो कि कास्ट होने के बाद इफेक्ट में आ रहे हैं, जैसे कि टेम्परेचर चेंज हो सकता है, ह्यूमिडिटी चेंज हो सकता है, पोर वाटर कंटेंट चेंज हो सकता है. द मेन इंट्रिंसिक फैक्टर्स आर द डिजाइन स्ट्रेंथ, द इलास्टिक मॉड्यूलस ऑफ एग्रीगेट, द फ्रैक्शन ऑफ एग्रीगेट इन द कंक्रीट मिक्स. तो यही सब चीजें, वाटर सीमेंट रेशियो, फ्रैक्शन ऑफ एग्रीगेट, डिजाइन स्ट्रेंथ, ये सब चीजें इंट्रिंसिक फैक्टर्स में है. And the maximum aggregate size also. Among the extensive factors, we must distinguish the local from the external ones. The former is also called the state variables and those which can be treated as joint property of a continuum. There are also ones which can be legitimately appear in constitutive equation. Temperature, age, heat of hydration, relative vapor pressure, humid वाटर कंटेंट रिप्रेजेंट स्टेट वेरिएबल अफेक्टिंग क्रीप. तो ये सब जो फैक्टर्स हैं ये एक्सटेंसिव फैक्टर्स में आते हैं. दीज आर एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स. सो दिस वाज ऑल फॉर टुडेज सेशन एंड वी विल मीट इन द नेक्स्ट सेशन. टिल देन हैव अ ग्रेट टाइम, कीप स्टडीइंग. थैंक यू. I hope you guys could understand and correlate the topics taught in today's session. If there is any query or subject matter issue, feel free to mail me at the given email ID. Live discussion sessions could also be used for discussion of doubts.